Welcome to another episode of the Bamature Hour. I'm Bamature John. This is the instant reaction to the Bama win over Wisconsin, 38-14. It is step 2 in the 10 steps Bama must take to make the playoffs. Bama still has it all out there to achieve. Today is Saturday, September 13th, 2025, in the year of our Lord. Thank you for tuning in. We now have over 4,200 subscribers to the YouTube channel and still growing. Today I'm joined by Dr. T and Gary G. Money. Let's jump in, guys. Celebration. Woohoo! Cooling the
Roll
game,
Tide.
baby. Roll
Roll
Tide.
Tide.
The tide rolled.
Roll Tide.
All right, you guys were both there. Tell me what it felt like to be inside that stadium today. I know it was hot. Was it electric?
I don't know if it was electric, Gary. I don't know what you think, but it was hot, and we looked good though. I mean, we did what we were supposed to do.
It was electric as an 11 o'clock kickoff game can be. Let's put it that way. It was very hot. We saw people getting wheeled out for dehydration.
Wow.
Most people, and yeah, it was. So that was an advantage, I think, against the Wisconsin players. But
Yeah,
I don't know that we needed that advantage to do what we did today, but it was nice to have.
yeah.
Well, if the Louisiana Monroe to me was the virtuoso performance, the A plus, to me I felt like this was an A minus. I still think we got an A on it. It wasn't our best, but it was good, and it was much more in the zone of where we need to be if we're going to go up to Athens. So I'm encouraged about that. Gary, thoughts? What do you think?
I thought we really saw Ryan Grubb today. And what I mean by that, he's got that pro style spread that he had at Washington. You saw the mesh concept, you saw the shallow crosses, you saw the screen pass. Of course, he had a couple of really neat, the double flea flicker and all that. But I thought he used creativity to use personnel where most of them were short to intermediate passes. He distributed the ball, and Ty distributed the ball well to a variety of receivers. And it was so nice to watch that where, hey, we can beat a decent team. Wisconsin's not a great team. You watch that game and you're like, they're not as good as FSU's. There's no question about it. But they're a lot better than La Monroe. And to watch his offensive creativity using the personnel that we have and not relying overly on pass pro, because these short and intermediate routes, they develop very quickly. You're getting the ball into our playmakers' hands. I thought it was a great game, scheme by the offensive coordinator, and kudos to him today.
Amen to that. Dr. T, thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Ryan Grubbs did great. I think Ty Simpson handled everything really well, exactly what Ryan Grubbs wants. I think he was reading through his progressions really well and quickly and decisive. I felt like even when he got rushed, he dumped it out real quick to Cuevas a couple times, where I think last year that would have been a sack. And he scrambled really well a couple times for major yardage, where against Florida State he was scrambling, could have had a first down, but he chose to throw it in the ground to Ryan Williams. I think he's growing up before our very eyes, and he's getting better week to week, and I'm excited. And we still don't have full strength yet on the defensive line, but the line still is playing well, I think. But I think when we get Tim Keenan back, and maybe who's the other guy? Beeman, maybe, or Latham?
Beeman's out for the season, but
Okay.
Latham, I think, is supposed to come back. But yeah, unfortunately, Beeman is hurt and he's done. But Simmons played well in the middle.
Yeah.
Smith was good. I like the way our defensive line played overall. I was happy about that.
I was too. What do you think happened to Overton? Do you think that's a collarbone or?
I heard it was an upper body injury. I looked at it on the replay and I couldn't tell, other than it looked like he ran into one of our other players and maybe kind of got twisted and
I think
hit
it's
by our
probably
own player.
here, the clavicle, it sounds like, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And LT had a good game today. Got a sack, and so I hated to see him heading to the locker room. But I mean, we had that game in hand. We didn't need him, so I'm happy. Get him to the locker room, get him patched up, get him healthy for Georgia, because we're in need of him at Georgia. But
Gary, I think you're right. I mean, Florida State's much better than Wisconsin, but Wisconsin's a lot better than La Monroe, and I think we just keep getting better. I think we're on a good trend right now.
Yeah, and I'll say this. So we had on offense, we had like really one-sided stats in terms of passing production versus rush. I don't know that that's because we couldn't rush, but if you look at just our stats, it looks like we really couldn't Kevin Riley kind of got brought back down to earth. He was 7 for 20, 7 rushes for 20 yards. It just felt like we weren't getting that push up front, but we were protecting for long enough for time to make good decisions. And boy, are we watching him grow up in front of our eyes. And it's great to see. I don't have an update on the Tennessee-Georgia game, but Georgia looks beatable, at least in the first quarter or so that I was watching. I'm sure we're all watching. So, Ty, yeah, he took a big step forward, a flawless sort of record-breaking performance
Right.
against La Monroe. And we're all sort of wondering, okay, what about a legit Power 5 team? He looked
Right.
pretty good today.
I mean, guys, if the season started last week, this was the team I expected to see all off season, the last 2 weeks. I don't understand still where week 1 came from. I don't get it, but I mean, we can't ignore it. I know it's on our record, but man, I mean, I think if this team keeps doing this, Gary and I discussed it at the game, we're going to be a very tough out.
Yeah, and one more thing about Ryan Grubb. I don't want to make this sort of oversell this, but he's playing within his personnel. Like Ty, let's just be honest.
Yeah.
He's a good decision maker. He doesn't have a great arm. Okay, so he's not asked to make these crazy throws or whatever. These little medium passes, short passes that develop very quickly, and you've got playmakers that you're relying on them to beat that one tackler or to even split double coverage. That's what we need to be doing. And today it's like a light came on, and it's like, let's play to our strength. Not that Jam's going to come in and save the day on rushing. I think running back by committee is what we're going to do going forward. And I think we have enough depth there and enough variety there in terms of style, speed, power versus shiftiness and all that kind of stuff. I don't think we're going to have a dominant running back this year.
Yeah. Guys, one thing I noticed is that Florida State was 6 men in the box. Wisconsin went 7 and 8 men in the box, and we did the right thing there. When they're loading up to stop the run, use the short passing game in lieu of the run. Get it? I mean, we have great playmakers, not good. Our guys are electric. I loved it. I really criticized Grubb for abandoning the run against FSU. And Rick, to your point, it was coaching that beat. Why we lost to Florida State was terrible coaching. We were not prepared, and we did not make adjustments on either side of the ball. So I love the fact that Grubb wasn't stubborn about running the ball when they had 8 guys in the box. We used the short passing game effectively. And God, Ty was just great getting the ball out quickly, accurately to the right guy. He was that point guard just dishing dimes after dimes and letting our guys do what they do. And so I loved it. And then his accuracy, that throw to Horton was high to where only Horton could get it. It didn't put the ball in jeopardy. I loved it. So
that throw to Riley out of the backfield, that was a good throw too, right?
It was great.
I don't want to rain on any parade. The one thing I'll say about Ty, and I think we put this in the group text, I'm not sold on his field vision. Like there were a couple, like Ryan had one route that he just lay it up there. That would have been another touchdown. There are a couple of times when he like panicked where he was checking his reads and just didn't see the field. And of course, it's easy to be up in the stands and kind of see the formations and stuff. He can improve on that, and if he does improve on that, that's going to make him even more dangerous.
Yeah, Gary,
hey guys,
when I got home, I rewatched the first half, and man, you're right. I think it was the first drive. Lottie Brooks is wide open down the field. Touchdown.
Easy.
He didn't see it.
He missed it. He did. It was 4th and short, and Brooks got even with the safety, and all he had to do was throw it, and he was, I mean, it was, and the one thing I'll say, and I love having Simpson instead of Milroe would have hit that. That's the one place where Milroe could hit the deep ball, and Milroe's great at that. Milroe would have taken bad sacks in this game. He probably would have thrown an interception, but Ty did. He missed it on that 4th down, and he also missed. He could have gone 4th and short. He had the tight end in the flat on the left side, and he was open at 3 yards, and you either hit that quickly or you pop it to Brooks, and it's either a touchdown or we keep the drive going. And that was probably my biggest criticism of Ty. Those are the only really 2 things I saw to criticize.
I think it's kind of hard. I mean, we're kind of nitpicking, which we can do.
I love nitpicking. If that's what we have to do on this episode, it was a great result.
I know, like I saw a stat they put up, y'all probably did too, between Ty and like Arch Manning and Sellers and who else was it? Anyway, another quarterback. He has better stats than all of them right now.
Yeah.
That could have been 5 touchdowns today if Ryan Williams catches the ball in end zone. That's 5 touchdowns. Crazy.
Well, and I will say this, he had a couple of scramble runs. One that I remember on the left side, Rick, and you and I were talking about that, like Milroe would have run for 30 yards. He's quick, and I think, I'm talking about his vision. While he's being rushed, his vision's great. Like I'm gonna step here, step there, but then flat out speed, there's a big drop off from Milroe to Ty.
Yeah.
He might be 4'6", but he's not 4'3".
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, Milroe, as much as I'm glad we have Ty over Milroe on the deep ball, and Milroe, when he got to the second level, good luck.
Right. Hey, not to jump around too much, but talking about speed, Ryan Williams is one of those guys that looks like he's barely moving and no one catches him.
Yeah.
He's like he's barely jogging and no one catches him. It's amazing.
He had a great game, and had he caught that one ball where he just over the middle again. And did you notice that they put Ryan out wide more, and they had Germ in the middle and Brooks in the middle?
They're listening to the Bamateur Hour. You know they are.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
They're listening. That's right.
Yeah.
That's where he belongs. We said that. I'm sure others have said that as well. It's hard to know, were they experimenting because of it? He's not a big guy. Or are they experimenting on a position possibly he could play in the NFL, kind of see? I don't like him over the middle at all.
I don't either.
I think he gets spooked. I don't think he's a great route runner over the middle because he plays a little bit afraid. He's got all those drops. But man, when you play him on the outside, he can't be covered, man-to-man coverage. He can't be covered.
John, like Gary and I were talking. He told me a funny story. He said when he goes to restaurants, oftentimes his wife's like, "Hey, Gary, try something different." He's like, "Why?" Because I know this is good. So I told Gary, I said, "Gary, the coaches even said, we know Ryan's great outside, but we want to try him inside." I'm like, "Well, if you know he's great, leave it alone."
Yes. Amen. Amen.
I mean, the old thing, student body right, student body left. If you're getting 5 yards every time, why do you even need to do anything different? You just punish the defense, go right down the field, eat the clock, get a touchdown, and just keep going. So
Hey, can we say one thing about Bray Hubbard?
Oh, yes. We're going to talk about Bray Hubbard. He's on the list. But launch in. Let's go.
Well, I told Rick today, I was like, he's on track after that second interception of, being SEC Defensive Player of the Week, possibly. And the thing is, I looked at some of the ESPN stats that weren't giving him credit for some tackles he had. I was like, man, he was like blowing people up. And so I thought he had a tremendous game. And I think he had a chip on his shoulder. He took a lot of criticism for FSU, and he deserved a lot of criticism for FSU. And, when you see resilience in players, they do something disappointing, and then they let that motivate them to, he was a ball hawk today.
Yeah.
He was the defensive standout. I noticed, and I'll just jump into these guys. I'm going to go ahead and note some defensive guys I know. Bray Hubbard, to me, was the defensive player of the game. 2 INTs, great tackles, not just tackled them, blew them up. They knew they had been hit. I loved it. And then we got 4 sacks today. LT Overton. Yhonzae Pierre. Mark that name down. That may be our next elite edge rusher. Quay Russaw, London Simmons all had good games. Simmons was great in the middle. James Smith was good. Defense was good. Defense, I was very happy about the defense overall, but I just want to mention all those guys. Those, to me, are the guys that stood out. Comments, thoughts, and did you see anybody else that was worth mentioning on the defense besides Bray?
Well, I'll jump in. Rick and I definitely were talking about Simmons, but I thought Nakai Hill-Green had some really good plays today. As well. I don't know if he busted an assignment here or there, but I thought he had some good visibility as well. And these are games like today is showing you when depth is so critical, right? When LT goes out, we're missing Tim Keenan, and and being able to plug and play people. And Simmons he just looked big. I don't know how else to say it. He moves so well. Very excited about seeing how he's going to play the rest of the season.
He was dominating the middle. Simmons.
Remember that play in the fourth quarter where Wisconsin burned Brown, didn't they? Who'd they burn deep?
Oh, yeah, they burned Brown. Yeah, Xavier Brown, yeah.
And early in the game, wasn't it Xavier Brown that was burned, but he caught up to the guy and pulled the ball out last minute?
Yes.
Yes.
So, I mean, he's the only question mark on deep balls. I'm wondering, hopefully he's not a
He
liability.
still gets a pass, Dr. T. He saved the Georgia game last year. He gets a pass.
True. That's true.
So that receiver that scored on that touchdown and ran the kickoff back, he was Ohio State transfer.
Yeah.
And, it just shows you how loaded their wide receiver room is. That guy's good. He's NFL caliber potential receiver.
Yeah.
And he's good. So I'm glad we got tested with some guys with some speed. And T.Y. Hilton's kid was out there, and I don't even think they threw him the ball. And, I mean, he's got some speed as well. So to your point, Gary, this was a better team than Louisiana Monroe. Are they going to be a bowl team? They may not even they may not even go 6-6 and make the bowl, but at least it was a reasonable Power 4 team, average to maybe a little bit below average, but we beat them up pretty good. We were better than they were, and the coaching was good. We clearly have better players. I liked seeing all of that. So to the point with Xavier Brown is he was covering a tough cover. That guy's good. That guy's a legitimate receiver, and he did get burned.
I'll add something on the kickoff return. You don't erase that score, but that was fluky in two senses. First, we had that 15-yard penalty, so we're kicking off at the 20, and I don't think I bet teams like us or other teams don't practice, covering your lanes and kickoff coverage from the 20 as often as they ought to. And then they had that fluky thing where the ref got in the way, and so it's almost like, yes, they scored and we could have done a better job there, but that's 7 points that I'm almost like, it's almost not real, if that makes sense.
I got mad. You know why I got mad on that? The shutout went bye-bye. And I was like, no, there goes our shutout. So I was hoping we'd get back-to-back shutouts. I'm like, I was dejected. And we had that great drive, gone down, put it up 28-0. I'm like, we're rolling, baby. We're rolling. And then you give that back up. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
But, I mean, again, we're nitpicking. There's not a ton to be upset about. The coaching, I'll go back. FSU, we lost because our coaches coached terribly. Our players, when I looked at the game film again, they were put in bad schemes, and we got burned offensively and defensively due to lack of adjustments, bad schemes, bad play designs, bad on offense. We had plenty of times where they had 6 men in the box and we need to run the ball or use the quick pass as a run surrogate, and we didn't do it. And on defense, we got caught too many times and got burned on the edge. By the way, did you notice we didn't give up the reverse plays this game? They ran those reverse plays multiple times and we had them covered. We were in varied alignments. So thank you, Kane. Thank you, because we did get burned on the wheel route. Did you see that again? Yeah. Didn't go for a touchdown. It didn't put him in the red zone. But again, we got to be ready for that wheel route because we're going to see that all season till we show we can shut that down. And I think it was Green that got burned, who was supposed to cover on that wheel route, and he missed it. And so he had a great game, but I think he was the one that got burned on that. So I didn't like the fact that they hit on the wheel route again. But at least the reverses, and we didn't give up many big just rushing plays overall. O'Neal was pretty mobile. He could run around and scramble, and he made a few plays, but he certainly was no Thomas Castellanos, and that's
right. You were asking about players that kind of got your attention. I forgot to mention Dre Washington. He didn't have a ton of plays, but when he was touching the ball, he looked pretty good.
And then AK Deer looks good too, Gary. I know it was the fourth quarter, but man, he had a couple of little spurts. He has a burst of speed, man. I mean, I think Richard Young's slowly going down the depth chart a little bit.
Richard Young did not look good when he was in there. Yeah. I hate it for him, but he didn't. I think he's going to get buried on the depth chart. He'll probably transfer. Let's face it. He's going to go somewhere else because there are too many good people in that running back room. I mean, I know Jam's gone. This is his last year, but all those other guys look really good. I hate that for him. He's either got to step up or I bet he'll transfer.
And Riley is a redshirt freshman, right?
I think he's a true. Is he redshirt or true?
I think he's a redshirt freshman.
Okay.
And then Dre, what is Dre?
He's a senior. He's a senior.
Okay.
Yeah, he transferred in as a senior.
AK Deer's a freshman, so yeah.
Daniel Hill's a redshirt freshman. I mean,
That's right.
we got a lot of running backs, and I think we've signed some more. So
And Daniel Hill has shown he is good at protection, man. He snuffed out a couple of blitzes.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Hats off to him. Hey guys, I thought Justin Jefferson made a couple of good plays.
He did.
So that was one other guy that, I didn't list him as my defensive standout, but I noticed him out there making some plays and doing some good things. So I wanted to mention him. On the offensive side, on Ty went 24 for 29 for 382 yards and 4 touchdowns. And had he seen Brooks, it would have been 5.
Should have been 26 out of 29, though. The 2 drop passes.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So, I mean, if he's completing 75% of his passes, throwing no picks, no, sack fumbles. He took 1 bad sack, but overall that was it. I mean, that's great. That's winning quarterback play. That's what we need. And I do not blame FSU on Ty. I blame it on the coaches. I blame it on the defense. I blame it on a lot of things. I thought Ty and Germie played well in the FSU game compared to how almost everybody else played. So I just want to throw those stats out there. I thought Ty was great. 2 great games.
Heisman numbers today without maybe with the Isaiah Horton reception accepted without making Heisman throws. So that's why I loved our scheme today. We played within our limits and we used our personnel. Okay, so we don't have a quarterback who can zing it, or at least our starting quarterback. He can't zing it in a little window like this, but he's got a sufficient arm. But we got playmakers that if you just get them in these, like we used the short cross today several times that were just like, yes, that's the play. And these little pick plays, perfect. We had some screens with the double of the flea flicker.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome. And look, that play, what was the result of that? It was just a very short pass to Ryan Williams and let Ryan Williams do something Ryan Williams.
And Proctor, man, Proctor mowed down 190-pound safety.
Yeah.
Double reverse, flea flicker, wide receiver screen to the house. That was, I mean, that's a highlight play. They're going to show that all over Sports Center. That is a standout play, great play.
And you call that play because we have Ryan Williams.
Yeah.
That's the point. It's like we're playing within our personnel and we're taking advantage of it. We're using advantages that we have over the other team in our personnel by plays that if you just look at the net result, okay, he made a 6-yard pass. I mean, who couldn't do that? Right. But it was the scheme disoriented them, created that space on the left side where he could beat somebody one-on-one and take it to the house, and that's what he did.
Hey, and did we need to do that? No, but I love it because we did it. Now Georgia's got to spend time on that, and I think that's good.
Well, and the other thing is we've got so many good receivers. When they did the double reverse flea flicker and then Simpson, they got to worry about because usually on a flea flicker, somebody's running wide open down the field and they had to cover the deep ball. And that just made it, the numbers worked out right that Ryan Williams had plenty of people in front of him and just to the house.
Hey, when I got home, I told you I watched it again. And on that play, it's so funny on the replay, their safety pulled a Hubbard from week 1. I mean, he was coming from the other side of the field. He did not want any part of that. He just kind of jogged over there. It's so funny. Oh,
I was just saying, Rick and I were talking about that exact thing. In that flea flicker, if you're the defense, you see that and you're like, everybody's heading down the field because you assume it's going to be a long pass.
Absolutely.
Over the top. And no, it's a little screen pass to Ryan Williams. Great play call. Great execution.
And as a defense, you're always like, okay, we got the ball in front of us. They just did a little dump off pass, but it's Ryan Williams and he's got blockers. Good luck. Yes. Did y'all get to see that on the scoreboard? Did they replay that a couple of times?
They did not replay that play, did they?
Not a single time. We were like waiting with bated breath. We want to see it over and over and over, and they didn't play a single time.
Well, watch it over and over again because it's a cool play. I loved it. When I watched it, I'm like, okay, here we go. And then I figured as soon as they pitched it back to Ty, he was going downfield. And then they hit that over there. I'm like, all right, there we go.
I mean, John, live, it looked like it developed really slowly. And I thought, oh, this is not going to work. And then all of a sudden he's gone. I was like, wow. I don't know.
Well, and if you just said the play out loud without watching it, double reverse flea flicker, that's like, oh, it's like a nightmare that takes so long to develop. We're going to get a sack or whatever. Worked out perfect.
Yeah.
It was really, really cool. So other players have mentioned Ryan Williams, 5 catches, 165 yards, 2 TDs, left some plays on the field. I mean, he had a great game. Ryan Williams is back, and he still left plays on the field. Any
Yeah.
thoughts, comments on Ryan that you hadn't already thrown out there?
I was glad to see Germie, even though it wasn't some spectacular touchdown, just to get another touchdown. Kind
2.
of
He got 2 because he ran
Well, he
one
got
in.
one receiving. Oh, did
Right.
he? Yeah, the rush.
Yeah, remember that first
Yeah.
touchdown was
Yeah,
him.
that's
Just
right.
they just handed off to him, took it to the pylon. So I mean, Jeremy's having a great season. I mean, he's having an All-American caliber season.
And
Yeah.
has anybody heard what that means when he gets down on his knees and does the arms
No.
spread? Does anybody know what that means?
No.
Okay.
I think he may, given what happened this week, I think he made some comments online about that and praying for people and stuff. So I think that's, worship type behavior, but
Okay.
not 100% on that. So
Well, your name is Bama John, so we'll put you on that research project. You can report to us next week.
I'll see if I can figure that one out. So I thought Jeremy had a great game. I thought he had his typical great game. He seems to be a guy we can count on week in and week out. And I think the defense have the game plan for him now.
You know who he's reminding me of a little bit, and I love my comparisons. Amari would get open, and we're like, how did he get open? And then you'd watch the replay like in slow mo, and he had these little subtle hip shifts and stuff that would make these DBs. Jeremy must be doing that because Rick and I were talking about this. He just gets open. It's like, what are you doing to fool the DBs or whatever? Very talented player.
Yeah.
Very precise route running. He does what he's supposed to do. He's where he needs to be. But I mean, the catch-22 for the defense is you can't double team all of our great receivers. I mean, it just creates opportunities for Isaiah, for Lotzier, for Jeremy. The defenses are still going to be really concerned about Ryan, so I'm not sure you can single cover him, and that just makes it easy. We got so many weapons on there, which is why I loved the short passing game. And the short passing game helped eat clock too. We had some big plays, and the one funny thing is time of possession was in favor of Wisconsin. And they had more rushing yards than we did, but we were moving the ball down the field with the passes so quickly that we just didn't have that as much time, even though we were dominating them offensively and yardage wise, we killed them. But just, because we weren't running the ball that much, we weren't eating clock as much. So I thought that was interesting little note.
And what a difference 2 weeks can make.
Oh yeah.
I remember the instant reaction sitting on the porch in North Carolina. We're all licking our wounds and
Rick wouldn't even come on with us.
Yeah. Well, I never asked why, Rick, but my wife was asking me about it. She's like, now the one you did in North Carolina, was Rick on that one? I said, he never told me, but I thought we were all upset about the game. Okay. But I thought could that be part of the reason? But here we are 2 weeks later, remaining calm and watching these things develop and watching Ty step up. And it's just so nice.
Well, coaches have gotten better. They're developing the players. We're loaded with talent. I think we're getting a lot closer to maximizing that talent. And there are going to be people, and FSU fans will hate me for saying this. That was a much closer game than FSU wants to admit. Yeah, they beat us. They did. They beat us. But poor coaching and 6 or 7 plays really swung that game the wrong direction. A lot of it due to scheme, some of it due to execution. And if we play FSU again, we're going to beat them. We're better
Can
than
I say
them.
one last thing? So,
Yeah, please.
In my mind, our defense is still a question. I liked what I saw today. We saw some great individual efforts. We held them to 2.7 yards rushing, and of course, we dominated La Monroe. Georgia's going to tell us. Georgia's going to tell us, how far we've come. We see little signs of it, but I don't think the question is answered. Georgia's going to answer, are we back on defense or not?
Right.
Well, and being on the road, because we know Kalen DeBoer has a terrible road record at Bama. And we're going to find out. And if we want to get where we want to go, we got to win these big road games. We got to figure out a way. And I hadn't checked the score, but Georgia was down 21-14 when I jumped on here. I don't know if either one of you know what the score is, but if we both go in there with us having a loss and Georgia has a loss, that's a desperation game for both teams. So that is going to, I mean, it's going to be a fist fight anyway. I mean, it's going to be a dog fight. You're going to have two desperate teams because neither one of us can, particularly if Georgia loses to Tennessee, and I think Georgia's going to lose to Tennessee. They don't seem to be able to stop Tennessee's offense from what I saw, which says a lot. But and you know, maybe Georgia will prove me wrong and win this game. But that is a huge game for both of us because both of us want to go back to the playoff. And if Georgia goes in there with the loss and we have a loss, whoever comes out of there with two losses is really between a rock and a hard place. And you're right, we're going to find out what is the ceiling of this team and can our coaches get us big wins? Because LSU guys, they had a terrible defense last year, and we had their kryptonite. A running dual threat quarterback was LSU's kryptonite last year, and we had a bend but don't break defense, and Nussmeier turned the ball over like crazy, 3 turnovers. And even though we blew them out, that game could have been a lot closer. So, yeah, we got that win there, but we didn't have to deal with the things that drove us crazy last year. So, at Georgia, it's going to be a great test of can this team make the playoffs? Can this team win a natty? I still think we can, but we still have to step it up another level, and we're going to find out.
Look, off the heels of watching Wisconsin's somewhat inept offense, I tuned into Georgia, Tennessee, and 5.5 minutes into the game, it's 14-7. There's some offensive firepower. Now, there was a safety for Georgia fell down on a play, and seven points got scored that way. But, I mean, these guys were moving the ball, and so it's like, I want to see us play that team. You know, Wisconsin, they just didn't have the players, and we said that in the preview. They don't have the players to match up with us, but Georgia does. It's going to be
and Tennessee does, too. Tennessee, that's playing those two teams is really going to challenge us. It's going to be fun.
I think Womack's defense so far in this first 16 games here in Alabama, I think he's going to do okay against Georgia and Tennessee. I really do. I think he struggles, as you know already, against Gus Malzahn type stuff or Vanderbilt's type offense. So I think we're going to go into Georgia and win. I'm not saying we're going to kill them, but I think we'll win that game. I really do. I like the way we're playing right now. I like our defense against this offense. Georgia hasn't done anything so far this year that I'm super impressed with. But John, remember when we did our season predictions? I totally missed mine. I thought we'd go, almost undefeated and maybe lose at South Carolina. But I did say I thought we'd win the first 3 games and go into Georgia as a slight favorite because I thought Georgia would struggle at Tennessee. I didn't think they would lose, and they still may not. They're down 21-14 in the second, so they may win, but yeah, I think we have everything we need to beat everyone on our schedule if the coaches show up every week and get our guys prepared, and we come to play because, man, that team, we look good. I'll tell you one thing, one more nitpick. We once again had more penalties than the opponent. I mean, why can't we have one game where we have less penalties? One game, just one. It's amazing.
So penalties on that point, Rick, and I had that noted as something. Yeah. Wisconsin had 6 penalties for 65 yards. We had 7 penalties for 57. So we had more number of penalties,
right, less yards.
A little bit less yards, but still, why can't we have a game where we have 3 penalties, 4 penalties? Right. And we need to clean that up because that may cost us in a big game. And Gary, to your point in Tennessee, that long pass, the Georgia guy interfered with the Tennessee guy, and then instead of just going ahead and dragging him down and tackling him, I think he was hoping he wasn't going to get called when he fell down. It's like, dude, at this point, do what they did to Ryan Williams against FSU. Just tackle him, take the 15-yard penalty, and, move on. And yet the guy caught the ball. They, of course, refused the penalty, took the touchdown. Tennessee's got a scary offense, guys. I'm glad we have them in Tuscaloosa this year. I would not want to play them in Neyland Stadium because Aguilar's a good dual threat quarterback. He's good. He's accurate. He gets the ball out. Georgia, I thought, had him sacked a couple times. He got away. I'm impressed so far with Tennessee in this game, and Georgia's got a lot of fight as well. Both of those games are going to be dog fights. Could be fun, but it's going to be dog fights. But yes, Rick, I noted the penalties, and that was one of the things. It's like, all right, we still got to be more disciplined on that.
Yeah. Hey, you guys, Ryan Williams, I think Gary and I talked about it today right before they did it. I said, Gary, every time you go deep to Ryan, something good happens. And it wasn't long after that, they hit that long pass and touchdown. It's like, I mean, I kind of think Ryan Grubbs, I mean, I definitely want to have the problem he has of having all these weapons. But if all we have is Ryan, then I think you just pattern everything to him. But I think Ryan Grubbs always knows that, hey, if I need something, I can go deep to Ryan Williams. So I think he's trying to develop all the other players. But I think against Georgia, you're going to see Ryan Williams show out a little bit more again. And I think we're going to go deep to him a few times.
Well, speaking of Georgia, John, if you decide to drive to Athens and do a live broadcast from there, we would love to see the background between the hedges.
That's right.
4.5 hours.
I'm gonna pass on that, guys. I don't want to go into the dog pound and get roughed up.
That's right.
I like to see an instant reaction from the stands in Georgia.
with me all beat up and like bandaged up and.
Well, you could probably convince Will K to make the trip, maybe.
Oh yeah, no, I think he'd be willing to do that, but no, I'll be happy to just sit right here and celebrate the victory afterwards because I'm going to stay optimistic.
But John, you'll be happy to know that we ate breakfast at Brick and Spoon before the game, and at the game, people were asking for amateur autographs, and so we're popular, very popular. A lady at the restaurant bought me something.
It was so annoying. It's just
I know. A lady gave something to Gary at the restaurant to sign, and I mean, it's amazing.
Love it, guys. Love it. All right. What else? What are other things that just you're thinking, you're feeling in this celebratory mode? Because I'm very celebratory. I'm very pleased with where we are after what happened. I'll call it the FSU debacle. And I lay it at the foot of the coaches first. And then certainly there were some effort issues and some execution. And I think we've mostly fixed that. Let's see if we can continue to build on it. But I like the trajectory right now. What are you guys thinking? Go ahead, Dr. T.
No, I do. I think I'm not, as Gary said earlier, I still have a few question marks on defense. And I'm not sold on this coaching staff. We know why, because 16 games in, I mean, I still haven't seen him put together 5 or 6 games in a row where I'm like, man, this is Saban-esque. So if we go to Georgia and play really well and are coached well and play well, and I want to win, but if we lose, I'm not done with this team. I think we're back. And if we do it again against Vanderbilt, that'll be 4 weeks in a row, 4 games in a row. I think at that point I can say, hey, this team is going to play that way every week. But right now, I'm definitely optimistic that we are on the right trajectory. I think we'll probably, I don't want to go into that, but yeah, I think we're going to have a great season.
Gary?
So I want to focus on our quarterback. I really do. He's shown progression, and he is showing us that he can be good enough during the course of this season to not lose any game. I'm not saying to win every game, but like we dropped a couple of games last year because of our quarterback play. I don't see Ty doing that. He's impressing me with his decision-making, his scrambling ability. Doesn't have a big arm, never will, but he's good enough for the plays that he's running. And we have enough playmakers that if you get the ball in space, then we're going to score some points like we did today, like we did last week. I'm considering just FSU a fluke, okay? He was running for his life that whole game. There was, like you're saying, John, major coaching failures during that game, but I'm looking forward with a great sense of optimism, and I think Ty's good enough to get us to the SEC championship game if our defense can, hold up their half of the bargain.
Yeah.
On the point of the defense, I'm going to give Kane credit because I was really harsh on him after the FSU game. I saw more varied looks. Other than handling that wheel route today. I love the way we handled the reverses. They were trying to do stuff that FSU used to burn us, and they weren't as effective. Some of it's because they don't have the athletes that FSU has, but some of it is we were better prepared. Our guys were better prepared. They recognized it. We still got to handle that wheel route because we're going to see it again. But I like the improvement and the adjustments and the varied schemes that we ran both against Louisiana Monroe, but again, they don't have the talent, and that we ran today. So I'm seeing it's trending in the right direction. Let me put it that way. Now let's see how we do against a high-powered offense like Tennessee. Let's see how we do at Georgia on the road. Let's see what happens when Diego Pavia comes in here and it's the hidden ball trick and try to show us all the eye candy, and can we deal with that? But I like the trajectory. I think our coaches were really humbled after the FSU game. And can we do it week in and week out? That's the other question I have, is can we maintain the level of intensity, preparation, and that level of play? Whereas if FSU was the worst and Louisiana Monroe was the best, can we be more towards the Louisiana Monroe level of everything week in and week out, and because we got to get 10 wins. We're at step 2. We got to go 8 more steps, get to that 10-win level. That's what I want to see happen. Can we do it? Again, can DeBoer win 3 SEC road games? Because that's what we got to do. We got to win every home game and win 3 SEC road games. Can he do it? It's a tall order. It's a tough ask. It's going to be hard, but we got the players to do it. So can the coaches get the players to play at that level so we can make it happen? It's going to be fun to see. I'm excited. I'm cautiously optimistic.
So we have 8 SEC games, right?
Yes.
Remaining still. So
Yes.
we go 6-2. Do you think we go to Atlanta? Do y'all think?
I mean, who do we beat? Who do we lose to?
Yeah, right. That depends.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's that whole thing about what happens if there's 3 SEC teams with 2 losses and one with
Right.
1 loss. I don't know. I don't want to be in that position.
Right.
That's the thing. I want to finish the season 10-2, because then we know we're going to the playoffs regardless.
Right. No, I hope so. But I would not be shocked if we went 9-3 and go to Atlanta, and then I think there you have to win to go.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
Which
by
I
the way,
think-
Rick, I love it. I like the humble flex of all your trophies in the background. That's a,
Hey, you know
that's a
what?
nice touch. I've got a lamp.
I
You've got
usually-
trophies.
Gary, I usually blur them out, but since we won today, I'm like, hey, I told you I was going through my boxes, unpacking stuff. I thought, this is a great place.
I
Come
like
on,
it.
sad thing
Rick.
is,
Do
Gary,
your flex. Do your flex.
The sad thing is, Gary, that's over 15 years, man. That's all I have.
It's plenty. It's plenty.
I love it. I love it. All right, parting shots, and we'll wrap it up and go watch the second half of Georgia, Tennessee, and see who's going to be more humbled when we play them. So, all right, Dr. T, parting shots.
My parting shots, like Gary said, Ty, way to go, man. You're playing great. Keep it up. The team's playing great. Coaches, keep showing me, baby. Keep showing me what you can do, baby. And this is no time to relax and rest on your laurels. This is time to prepare for Georgia and Vanderbilt this week. Let's go. Come on.
G Money.
I like the word relax. This is the second relaxing Saturday in a row. I think 2 weeks from today, when we head up to Athens, is not going to be relaxing except at the end of the game. Roll Tide.
Well, I will say this. Maybe it will be relaxing. We'll have one of those Saban-esque blowouts where everybody thinks it's going to be the game of the day, and then Saban pulls the magic trick out and we win by 3 touchdowns. I don't think that's going to happen. I can just dream about it anyway. All right, guys, I'm just really excited. I'm cautiously optimistic. I like the fact that we're 2-1. I wish we were 3-0, but maybe that humbling is going to be the best thing that happened to us, and that's going to be the punch in the gut we needed to get the wake-up call so that we can do this thing and make the playoffs. All right, thank you everyone for listening. Subscribe, follow, like, hit the notify button wherever you access the podcast. We appreciate it. God bless, and roll Tide.
Roll Tide.